Hi, my name is Zubin Atrè. I'm the founder of Atrè Yoga. Atrè Yoga is a precise sequence of asanas practiced and taught with the reference to the shape of a rectangular mat and other geometrical shapes. It's a labyrinth of biomechanically correct body movements. Atrè Yoga teachers, they understand that every single human body is unique and has its own levels of flexibility and strength. Students could have different goals and lifestyles. In a nutshell, bodies are the variables here, and the constant is the shape of the mat. Atrè Yoga uses that constant shape of the mat to have precise placement of the body parts on the mat. As you grow into the practice, we start marking your mat for further precision. Practicing Atrè Yoga methodology eventually improves muscle memory, sense of proprioception, quality of breath, and is easy on joints while improving the mind and the body coordination. So in order to get started, you're going to slide yourself towards the border of the mat at the back. You would have equal space on your right hand side and you would have equal space on your left hand side. Start with your left foot first. Pull it up close to the perineum. Bring it as close as you can towards the perineum. It's like you're almost sitting with your perineum on top of your heel. With your left knee pushed far out to the side in a way that your left knee is pointing towards the corner of the mat on the left hand side. You're going to do the exact same thing with your right foot. You're going to pull it up and place it on top of the left foot. Your goal should be to stack your right foot exactly on top of the left foot. So imagine your heels being in one line with each other. And also pushing your right knee far out to the side in a way that your right knee is pointing towards the corner of the mat. The idea behind this entire big base is to be able to sit comfortably in this position for a longer duration. And once you find yourself comfortable in that position, notice that you're sitting and you're forming a shape like a triangle. You're sitting on a triangle. And place both your hands on top of the knees, pressing your hands into the knees in a way that you're going to gently pull the chest back. Now, hands on top of the knees, pressing them to bring the chest back. Now, back just enough to place the chest exactly on top of the hip girdle. So avoid staying forward, avoid going way too back. You just simply want to be exactly on top of the hip girdle. Once you are there, you're going to do the same thing with your head as well, finding the best placement for your head, and you're going to pull your head back. Now pulling the head back in a way that you have your shoulders in line with your ears. And the feeling is that the crown of the head is always reaching up towards the skies. Once you find yourself there, you would notice that the spine has the entire length, and it's actually very essential to get the entire length of the spine before we start to bend it forward, bend it backwards, or even begin to twist it. Once you're there, you're going to mentally prepare yourself to get into the sequence. For that, you can leave the hands on top of the knees with your palms facing down. You can keep your hands in Chin Mudra if you like, or you can place one hand on top of the other in the center of your lap. Wherever you are, you're going to close your eyes very gently and start observing the internal mental chatter. Anything that's coming to your head right now, you simply observe it without getting too involved into it. Then bring your attention and all your focus towards your breath. You're watching your breath take place without trying to alter it much. You're simply observing the breath. And after observing your breath for a few minutes, you are now ready to get into the details of the breath. You would start looking into the inhalations. You would start looking into the breath minutely. And you start observing the way the inhalations are working on your body. You watch the breath enter your nostrils. You watch the breath touch the back of your throat. And you simply watch the way the breath goes down along the spine and down towards the bottom of the lungs. And see how the inhalations are working on your body. And see how the inhalations are working on your mind. With every inhalation, you would notice that your spine is getting taller and taller. With every inhalation, you find yourself becoming much more awake. With every inhalation, you find yourself becoming much more alert and aware of any sensation that is taking place inside your body at the moment. So inhalations are uplifting. With every inhalation, you find yourself becoming much more awake, alert, and aware. Now notice the exhalations and see how the exhalations are helping you to feel much more still, stable, and calm. Notice the way the breath is working on your body. Notice the way the breath is working on your mind. With every exhalation, you're finding that your shoulders are getting relaxed further. The back of your neck, your throat, your eyeballs, even your scalp is getting more and more relaxed. And how with every exhalation, you find yourself becoming much more still, much more stable, and much more calm. And how exhalations are grounding, whereas inhalations are uplifting. And between these two, you find yourself that sense of balance where you're totally in control. Where your body feels relaxed, but your mind is awake and alert. You can stay in this meditative state for about 5 minutes or longer. See how you feel. And once you decide to come out of it, you're going to then bring your hands together. You will rub your palms. You're going to make them gently warm and cup your eyes. You can even gently massage your eyes with your fingertips and slowly open up your eyes. Then simply lower your left hand on top of the left knee and extend the right arm out as far as it could get towards the border of the mat and reach out with your fingers as far as they can get. So there's the conscious effort in reaching out with your fingers as far as they could get. Spine remains upright with your chest and your tummy still facing towards the front. You would simply lean and tilt your head down in the exact opposite direction. And as you held that position, you would begin to notice the stretch coming on the right hand side of the neck. You could also extend your right arm further out and back, reaching out as back as it could get. Keep your lips together and lift your chin up in the exact opposite direction where your left hand is pointing. So your chin is pointing towards the left corner of the room, upwards. Now in order to get a better night's stretch, you're going to slowly pull the fingers in towards yourself and stick your palm further out. Sticking the palm further out would help you to further stretch the arm, the scale lines, and you hold this position focusing on the inhalations more than the exhalations. Then take a long deep breath and you bring your head back to the center. You move the same arm over the head and you would be covering your left ear with your right hand and start tilting your head down to the right hand side. Keep your right shoulder relaxed here. Avoid squeezing it up. Use the weight of the arm rather to help to tilt the head down to the right hand side. The stretch is likely to be on the left hand side of the neck. Hold that position, focusing on the breath. The next step is to take your right hand to the left corner of the neck at the back and tilt your head down in a way that your chin is coming to the right hand side of the chest. Remember that your spine still remains upright. It's only about the movement of your neck at the moment. In this stage, you notice that the crown of the head, the right elbow, and the right knee, they all will be pointing towards the corner of the mat on the right hand side. This stretch is likely to be on the left corner of the neck at the back. You're going to take a long deep breath in. You're going to bring your head back to the center and lower the right hand down. You'll do the exact same thing on the other side. You'll be extending the left arm out, reaching out with your fingers as far as they could, and then you would tilt your head down to the right hand side. Spine remains upright. You'll be still reaching out with your fingers as far as they could get. You almost want to touch the border of the mat with your fingers. Extend the arm further out diagonally and lift your chin up in the exact opposite direction. The target area is the scale iron here. Stretch and focus on the breath which goes in. So by breathing in deep, you're going to stretch the lungs internally. You're also stretching the muscles. And if you take a breath long, deep enough, you would feel the stretch coming on the skin as well. Then pull the fingers in towards yourself for a better nice stretch to make the stretch feel even deeper. And combine this with 2 to 3 long, deep, mega inhalations. Bring your head back to the center. Take the arm to go up and over the head. Cover the right ear with your left hand. Tilt your head down to the left hand side. Keep your left shoulder supple. Keep your deltoid supple. Use the weight of the arm rather using any kind of strength coming out of the muscles. Remember that your spine still remains upright. For that, you will be supporting your spine by using the lower back muscles. When you breathe out, the left hand goes to the right corner of the neck at the back. You lower the chin down to the left hand side of the chest in a way that the crown of the head, elbow, and the knee, they're all pointing towards the corner of the mat in front. So when you're doing these positions on your own, you can always track and check if your asanas are being done right by seeing where they're pointing and how your body is placed on the mat. Breathe in slowly. You're going to bring your head back to the center and you will lower the left hand down. Then simply spread your fingers open and wide and you're going to grab your knees nice and tight. Now slide your fingers under the knees in a way till you have the entire length of the arms and fingers are pointing back in towards your body. You would notice that you're forming 2 big triangles here, one on the left hand side and one on the right. On the third triangle, your whole body appears as a triangle right now. Pushing the tummy forward, lifting the chest up, lifting the sternum up, rolling the shoulders further back. You will keep your lips together and you're going to drop your head back. Hold that position and lift your chin up higher than your noses. You might never be able to lift your chin up higher than your noses, but that's the direction you're reaching towards. So if you keep this metaphor in mind that you want to lift your chin up higher than your noses, you're going to end up bringing your throat in one straight line with your spine. And that is actually a very good opportunity for you to take a long, deep inhalation. So hold that position and breathe into it. It's almost like a backward bend. The lower back muscles will be pushing the lumbar region of your spine forward and the chest will be coming back. So there is a gentle C. It's almost like an arch in your back which expands the chest, and we have to simply get that opportunity to breathe in as deep as we can into that position. And then when you breathe out, you're going to lower the chin down to the chest and you're going to do the exact opposite, which is to sink down with your spine in a way that you expand and open the upper back muscles, you slide them forward and you make a C out of your spine in a different direction. So sinking down with your spine, taking all the body weight back towards the hips, you will be arching, spreading. So as you held this position, you want to visualize something like an umbrella opening, something like a parachute. So your back resembles that kind of a shape right now. You will be stretching the muscles along the spine in a horizontal direction, but you would also be stretching them in a vertical direction. When that happens, your muscles, they feel better, there's proper blood circulation, and they get the stretch normally we don't get by doing daily activities. Then breathe in, you're going to slowly bring the body up and back. And now from here, you're going to simply pull the chest up higher. You're going to open the chest to the side. So sternum now wanting to point towards where the right knee is pointing. And you're going to bring your left hand on top of the right knee here. Now there's another triangle you need to notice that is being formed with your left arm, your right thigh, and the spine. You'll be making a cup out of your right hand and you will put your fingertips down onto the floor at the back. Now, avoid placing the hand way in close to the body or placing it way towards the back. You just simply want it to be here in a way that both your arms are almost parallel to each other. And avoid putting a lot of weight on the hand at the back. We simply want to use the grip of the fingertips to help you hold the body in place. The next thing you want to do is very simple, and that is to simply start bending the elbows. Now bending the elbows would allow your spine to twist little by little. And keep your chin in line with your chest at the back. Now it is a very mild twist, but it's a progressive one, which means when you're breathing in and out, you need to continue to progress into the twist. So breath goes in, the body uncoils a bit, but when you breathe out, you kind of find that one extra degree of rotation for your right shoulder to roll further back. So this is how you'll be able to hold this position for a longer duration. Keep bending the elbows, keep lowering the shoulders down, chest remains up higher, and you will notice the muscles on the right hand side of the lower back in particular are pushing the entire stance of the body further up. Get the body out of this, back to the center, and you do the same thing on the other side. With your right hand now coming onto the left, with the left hand going down onto the floor at the back, use the fingertips to grip the floor nice and tight. Avoid pressing the palm onto the floor. You simply want the fingertips to be helping you to get that grip. You need to be able to twist your body. Lift the elbows up, create a lot of space between the shoulder blades and the spine between the elbows at the same time. Push the left shoulder back as it could get and continue breathing in and out. Breath is very important here. Think of this as a breathing exercise. You're breathing in, the spine goes up. You breathe out, your shoulder goes back. So it's all about the combination of inhalations and the exhalations, coiling and uncoiling of the spine. There's always a gray area in any asana you practice. It's never black or white. So you progress into the asana and then you retreat a little bit. You progress into the asana and then you retreat a little bit. But when you progress into the asana, you kind of progress into a newer level, which is what makes this methodology a bit unique, because we focus on working on the end range of motion of the joints. Now, the next is to bring your right hand down by the side of the right hip. Press into the floor in a way that you have the entire length of the arm. So your right arm is now entirely parallel to the spine. So you push into the floor, avoid leaning to the side. You push till you have the entire length of the spine, and then you're going to leave the left hand on top of the left knee. Simply slide the right hand down along the edge of the mat, and fingers are going to go nicely spread open and wide. Grip the floor nice and tight, point the elbow down so you have this rotation in your elbow. Drop the elbow down onto the mat in a way that it precisely lands under the shoulder in a way that you kind of form a letter L out of the arm here. And then you'll be sending your left arm up over the head, or you can keep it behind your hand and you push your elbow further up. Focus on the breath, continue breathing in and out, hold that position. The idea is to stretch the left hand side of the torso. Continue breathing in and out. Push into the floor, get the body to come back to the center, and you'll do the same thing on the other side. Bring your left hand down by the side of the left hip, push into the floor till you have the entire length of the spine, and then slide the hand down along the edge. Elbow points down, you drop the elbow down onto the mat in a way that your elbow lands right under your knee, and start leaning your body weight further down to the left hand side. With your right hand going behind your head, and in order to self-adjust, you can pull your head back in a way that kind of pushes the right elbow further back. Rest of the work is to be done with your breath. A lot of times we end up picking the knee up off the floor. So keep the knee settled down onto the mat. It's going to keep your body weight shifted towards the center while helping you to stretch the right hand side of the torso. The floating ribs are opening up here and you're focusing on the breath which goes in. And then you push into the floor and you throw the body up and back to the center, and you would relax. From here, you're going to bring your left hand on top of the right knee once again. And you're forming a triangle. There are two big triangles right now. One triangle you're sitting on. The second triangle is a vertical triangle. So one is a horizontal triangle and the one is vertical triangle being formed out of your left arm, your right thigh, and your spine. And these two triangles are more or less the same size. And for this position, we just have to overlap one triangle on top of the other. So you'll be sending your right arm up higher, and then you'll be leaning down to the left hand side. So your goal here should be your left arm to going closer to the left knee, till the point your left arm almost goes parallel to the floor, with your right arm extended further up and over the head. You keep the chest open, ceiling visible. Take a long deep breath in, swing the body up and back, bring your right arm at your shoulder level with the palm facing in front. Now, make a fist out of your left hand, turn the palm away and tuck it with your knee. Now that helps you to minimize one joint in your body so that you can simply work without using a lot of your muscular strength. So turning the palm away, activating the tricep on the left hand side, you start pushing into the knee in a way that your right arm goes back. So it goes back as it could get. You continue breathing in and out. Then you simply lower the right hand down in line with your tailbone at the back and bring it as close as you can to the body so that you have the entire length of the spine. Keep rolling your right shoulder back. Now the dynamics of this asana is very simple. You just simply want to take your right shoulder away from your right knee by using this tiny tricep. Making a fist is very important. Keep it tucked in and keep rolling. Now the more you push into the knee, the further your right shoulder goes back. Then when you breathe out, you're going to slowly get the body out of this, and you will do the same thing on the other side with your right hand going down on top of the knee. Open the chest to the side. You're going to keep your right shoulder going towards the right knee. Keep leaning down, keep leaning down. A lot of times our left hip gets lifted up off the floor, which is perfectly fine. So lean down, extend the arm over the head, reach out towards the corner, keep the chest open, ceiling visible. Keep your neck relaxed. A lot of people, we don't know what to do with the head, so we tend to keep it stiff. So keep it relaxed. Use the weight of the head to shift the body weight further to the right. Then swing the body up. You want to come up in one go using that momentum. You're going to make a fist out of your right hand, push into the knee and send your left arm back as it could get. So the more you push into the knee, the better the twist gets. Then lower the left hand down in line with the tailbone as close as it can come to the body and keep rolling your left shoulder back. Then when you breathe out, you're going to slowly get the body out of this. So far we have worked on the 6 basic movements of the neck. So far we have also worked on the 6 basic movements of the spine. Next is to work on the hip girdle. So for that you're going to bring your feet forward towards the front of the mat in a way that they are pressing into each other. You're going to interlace your fingers over the toes and you're going to bring your toes in close to the perineum. So the arms will be totally straight. The body resembles like a shape of an anchor, a heavy anchor. Point the toes in towards your chest in a way that the body weight is going towards the sit bones and you'll be bouncing your knees up and down. Pull the chest up higher and then point the toes further in towards the body. Now this requires a little bit of practice. This requires a little bit of coordination to hold this position upright with the heels lifted up off the floor, keeping the spine straight. Now engaging your thigh muscles, you're going to bring your toes up at the same level where the eyes are. And then sink down with your spine, making your back go round. The image in your head should be like an image of a catapult, like both the arms being pulled by weight of the legs, letting the upper back muscles stretch open. Imagine the space you're creating between the shoulder blades and the spine. Then when you breathe out, you're going to lower the feet down towards the front of the mat. You're going to lean your body weight forward and then simply place both your hands on top of the knees. So the hands on top of the knees with your fingers pointing in, with the elbows pointing out, you're going to bounce your knees up and down. Now at this point, we are not using any kind of strength. We are keeping the legs relaxed, supple. The whole idea is to prepare the hip girdle. The whole idea is to let the blood circulate towards the lower part of the body by just simply shaking. It's just simply like dribbling. Then when you breathe in, you're going to go grab your big toes with the index finger next to it, and point your toes in towards your chest bone. Get the chest to come up, lift the spine upright further, continue breathing in and out. And fold yourself right from the base of the spine. Go forward, pull up, in back. Then bring your hands on the inside. This time your elbows will be pointing out forward. With the previous position, we focused on going down. With this position, elbows pointing out. We are focusing on going down, but also we are focusing on forward. So elbows pointed out and forward, fold. Breathe in, slowly you pull the body up and back, and now you can come back to the point where you started from. Thanks a lot for joining us on the mat today. This was only the first part of the sequence. I hope you really found it useful and enjoyed it.